Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to this show where we build in TaleSpire. And we're gonna do that. Let me just get my volumes set. There we go. So we can hear the background music. Hey, welcome. If you haven't been here before, welcome. we build classic D&D maps in TaleSpire. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the like if you like this so far, I guess. If not, wait and see and decide later. We stream here on Twitch and then we upload it to YouTube later, with a little bit of editing, just to kind of we don't cut anything out, but there is editing just for like the ad breaks, stuff like that. So without further ado, we are building from module B2 from Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, as featured on Stranger Things. Not this module, but Dungeons and Dragons in general. Module B2, Keep on the Borderlands, which has two sections of it. The eponymous Keep on the Borderlands, and then there are the Caves of Chaos, which is what we're building. We're building the Caves of Chaos, which is where all the baddies live, and all the monsters, and all the nasties. We've been building for a few weeks now, so we've come a long way. We have much of the caves built. There we go. Zoom out a little bit more. We have a lot of the caves built. But this is just the innards. This is just the guts. We still have to do more guts, A. And 2, we have to do the actual ravine walls and the ground and the trees and a bunch of other stuff. So we're making progress, but we're a ways away. We are a ways away. We are currently building the Goblin Caves. Let me make sure that stays up there. And this is room number Qua? I don't know the French word for room. So there. That's where my French ends. Goblin Lair, we're in D. That would help if I looked at the actual map and not the book, wouldn't it? Let me move my microphone. There, that helps. So we're on 18, where this little table is. And room 18 is the guard chamber. Oh, it's the same as... Okay, so we did 17. I remember we did 17 last time. There's 6 goblin guards with javelins and clubs. 2 of these guards will rush to... Oh, okay. If there is a... Okay, so it's as above. There are 6 goblin guards with javelins and clubs. Except the goblins watch mainly the east. If there is a cry of Briark, I guess that's their alarm call, Briark, whatever that means. That might be French. I don't know. Who am I to know? As we've established, I don't speak much French. It's similar to Hey Rube. Oh, thank you, Gary. You tell us what it means, Hey Rube. 2 of these guards will rush to the secret door. The secret door, right. We have a secret door here. Let me get out of build mode real quick and get into DM view. There's a secret door here. Yeah, okay, cool. We'll leave that barrel. Actually, no, we can move that barrel slightly. Now that I realize that there's a secret door there. But yeah, there's the secret door. It leads into the ogre lair. And there's an ogre and a what looks like a bear, but it's actually just a bear rug with a bunch of leaves stuffed under it and stuff. So we have it so that it looks like a bear that's asleep or dead, whatever. So they open the secret door, toss in the coins, and then yada yada. Cool. All right. So let's get out of GM view. Let's scooch. We're in build mode. Hold on. Build mode. There. Now it's working. Toggle that. And our lovely flashlight. I almost said microphone. Sure, microphone. The thing right in front of my face. Okay, so there are 6 gobos. Let's go ahead and put those gobos. Yeah. Oh, my Hero Forge library has grown. We'll go over that in a little bit. I mean, we don't have to, but where am I going? There we go. There we go. Goblins. It has a whole category for goblins. We're gonna use these little dude. Oh wait, what about this guy? Okay. Oh, that's like a sneak. We just want the regular blow goblins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put one here. It says they mainly watch to the east, which is this way. So we'll put one here, and we'll put 2 here. Why not? We'll put one here, maybe. Just kind of looking off in that direction, more or less. Let's just move him here. So he's here. He's backing him up, but he's also like glancing off in that direction now and then. These guys are just slacking off until it's their turn to be on watch. So we will also go to props. Go to. You notice I do not have my backdrop down. I figure, meh. There's no need. If it's a very D&D centric stream, then this my actual bookshelf behind me is perfect for this. What do we want? Food and drink, and we want one of these. Why not? And a thing of cheese, and a thing of bread, sitting on top of the cheese, and 1 pumpkin. Why not? Sure. And a couple of these. And one of these. These guys are living it up, apparently. There's a floaty mug. We don't want a floaty mug. Come on. There we go. Right on the tabletop. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Oh, got a floaty pitcher too. Let me scooch this. Scoot it. Yeah. And right on the edge of the table. Why not? That works. Cool. All right. So that's what they're doing. We will put a crate over here to signify a thing full of weapons, because that is what is said in the... I don't know what's going on with TaleSpire. Like, you can set the size of your thumbnails, and I set it to the smallest one just so I have more screen space. But it likes to switch back to the default, which is, like, I think it's it's got to be medium, which is... It's a small thing, but, you know, you want it to stick with your choice. Whoops. Well, we'll keep that. All right, I'll move this here into the corner at kind of an angle. There we go. And how about a broken barrel? How does that sound? Sounds like something the goblins would have. Just a broken barrel somewhere. Sure. How about a second broken barrel of a different kind? Sure. Sure. There you go. Let's see. Tell some payment. Enter the Goblin's Lair, make attack, intruding immediately. So that's what the ogre does. If possible, the sack of gold coins is hidden in a water barrel in the corner by the secret door. That's this one. So that's where the coins are hidden. So keep that in mind for if the PCs get the jump on the goblins and the goblins don't get the opportunity to bribe the ogre, then they find the coins in that barrel. 19, which is the common room, and that is, oh wow, it's just hallways and hallways of nothing here. So we're gonna probably put some kind of set dressing in there because it's okay. So there are trees on the floor above, so we can at least put like roots and cobwebs. I would say roots at the end of the long hallway. We can put some, because yeah, there's like nothing. There's no nothing listed for that area. It's just a hallway that's an offshoot of 18, and that leads you to eventually the one we're going to do right now. Also, these two little offshoot hallways, they don't have anything listed for those either. I'm going to go ahead and move my Bluetooth speaker because it's being weird. It's affecting my surface area for activities. All right. So yeah, that looks like that's it. We're just gonna have to like improvise for those areas. Are those? Yeah, those are far enough apart. I keep forgetting that this is 5 feet. This is 5 feet. Altogether, 20 feet here between these two sections, which is what is depicted on the map. Always allow 5 feet for the wall, which can really get you in trouble sometimes. Can really, not really in trouble, but can really mess with your map making process. Why is this higher than the rest? No. Down you go. Okay, so this is the common room. Let's read the description. There are 10 males. All right, there are 24 goblins in here, and 6 young goblins. There. Well, that's not... Male and female goblins are the same. In their differences, they're the same. They're capable of the same amount of killing the PCs. That's what I mean. Food is prepared and eaten here, and general meetings are likewise held here. There are heaps of bedding, tables, stools, benches, etc. all around the whole place, making it very cluttered. Oh wow. Each male has a d6 silver pieces. Each female has 2d6 copper pieces. Okay. Wow. If the wandering group of goblins has not been encountered when the adventurers enter this area, be certain to have those 6 additional males in this chamber. Okay. So again, I think we talked about this last week, the wandering goblins. Yeah, it's 6 males, and I think it was the 1 in 6 chance that they encounter a group of goblins. Yes, this wandering group of goblins, of which there is only 1. So, for every 30 feet they travel, you roll a d6, and it's 1 through 3 on a d6. They encounter these 6 goblins. So, which is kind of weird, because if you're coming out of the front here, let's just get a measuring. Let's get out of build mode too. That helps. Whoop. Whoa, build mode's being wacky. So, whoops. Whoa, what happened? So, say you go here. That's 30 feet, right? So if you roll 1 through 3 on a d6, you get ambushed by 6 goblins, wandering goblins, either from over here or here if you decided not to look down here for whatever reason, or they come around the corner here and they spot you. But then that would also draw, it would undoubtedly draw the ones over here. Let me use my flashlight. The ones over here, I mean, it would undoubtedly draw these, but these would definitely here too. So you all of a sudden you got 18 goblins to deal with. And for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, that's a lot. For the levels that this is saying, I think it's levels 1 through 6? 1 through 3. Oh. So yeah, for a 1 through 3, levels 1 through 3, that's a lot of goblins. Could potentially spell the end for the PCs. So yeah, it's that's kind of rough. Weird. I'm looking at the map and I'm realizing that there's spots that have nothing in them. Like these hallways that just go and they just end, and there's nothing there. And it doesn't say that there's anything there. Alright. I mean, we can just fill it with broken barrels and... yeah, just like 2 or 3 broken barrels, some roots, and some cobwebs. That's sort of... I guess that's sort of what the recipe that we'll stick with. It might start to look redundant, but I don't want to have to reinvent the wheel each time we do one of these, you know? So here's what we'll do. Since Whoops. Since we are no longer building caverns, natural caverns, we'll clear out this end of our quick bar, and we will go into here, and we'll drag both. Oops. Oh, that was it. Yeah, you right-click and drag over to the quick bar, and it will add those for you. So we also want roots. So we want nature, tree, roots. It has its own thing. So we want the creepy hand. We want this. We want this. We want this. And we want this. Let me go ahead and get rid of this because we don't ever use it. And we want a couple cobwebs. So that's under Grim? Yeah, Grim. There they are. Oh, interesting. What is this considered? Oh, it's just a spiky ground. That's kind of neat. I didn't realize this was in here. Why is it under Grim? Oh, I don't know. It's just like weird rock formation. Oh, I guess it's part of the aberration set thing, which is kind of cool. All right, so two things of web that we're gonna use. I'm definitely gonna use this. Why don't we just use the corner one? Or let's use a big corner one and a little corner one. There. That should tide us over for building. All right, so starting in here, since we're moving on from this area, we're pretty much done. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and clear out, since I just read that the food is served in the common room. I'm gonna just put a thing of bread and a thing of cheese here. And just this pitcher there. The actual meals are apparently eaten only in the common room. Okay, so from our quick bar we can just throw down some broken barrels in this thing, this dead-end hallway. And it kind of gives the goblins a little bit of, I don't know, terrain to hide behind, which is good. Is there any? I guess if I'm doing this, this is what we're doing. We're dressing these hallways before we move on. So let's get our map out. We don't need the descriptions. I just need to see if there are trees on the ridge above these tunnels. Yeah, that's the word. That's the ticket. Tunnels. So I've been watching more and more. I've mentioned this before on stream. I watch Mystery Science Theater 3000 while I work, because I work at home and I just have something on in the background while I do stuff. And it's perfect because I've seen them all before, and it's just I can just kind of have it on, and then I can hear it and just kind of work while it's on. It's the perfect thing for me. Because I don't lose focus, and I just kind of I just work my butt off while it's on. This is such a weird angle. Whoop. There you go. Alright, cool. Yeah, I like that. There we go. But yes, and I watch it kind of like in order on a loop. So when I get to the last one, I'll usually wait a little bit, and then I go back to usually season 0, the KTMA. For the true experience is to go back to the KTMA episodes and watch those in order, which you can really only find on YouTube. If you're lucky. Some of them aren't even up on YouTube, or they get taken down, or whatever, because they don't really have the rights for those movies anymore. So finding them finding them in a viewable format can be difficult. We'll just throw it here in this corner. There we go. And once again, we have a gap that we need to fill right there. All right. Let's pull that out a little bit since we can't really see it. There we go. But anyway, on this pass through, I've noticed that some gracious person has uploaded onto YouTube the broadcast editions of Mystery Science Theater, which means they just pulled the recording off of the VHS, just, made it an MP4 or whatever, then uploaded it. And they didn't cut out the commercials, which I find fascinating and fun, because you get to see all these commercials that ingrained a small portion of your brain, at least mine, at least if you grew up in that time and watched TV or cable, specifically cable, then it ingrained a small portion of your brain, and it sort of just like reignites that part of the brain. seeing these old commercials, it's crazy. Oh, my Hero Forge just got updated, or Forge. What do you call it? Not Hero Forge. The plugin for Foundry thing. The Beyond 20 just got updated. Cool. Anyway, yeah, I'm watching all these old commercials, and man, oh man, it's crazy. Like looking back and all these like especially like the phone commercials for like 1-800-COLLECT and AT&T and Sprint and all this, and it's just like, that's not even a thing anymore. It's like that is the furthest from it being a thing. Almost everybody has a cell phone. Very few people have landlines, and if they do, the service providers for the landlines are lucky to get that business. So it's like, yes, whatever, it's $3 a month, yay, whatever. They make their money from cell phones now, right? That's where all the money is. I mean, they could potentially gouge someone for a landline. I wouldn't understand why. Aside from, just blatant greed, but whatever. But yeah, it's just so bonkers seeing all these old commercials for stuff that is just so no longer a thing. It's just not things that are not a thing anymore. I'm trying to think of any other like weird outdated commercials. And some of the movie commercials are great. Like the movie trailers, those are always great. Because there's like, oh man, there was there was a Kevin Costner movie where he plays like a fugitive, and he's got a kid that he took hostage, and man, they pushed the hell out of that movie. It was just nuts. It's just like, really? I've never heard of this. But yeah, it's funny just seeing a bunch of commercials that are just kind of like, and some that just don't age well because the person, either the person in the commercial is just kind of like, I don't know, things didn't go so well for them. They're not so well regarded anymore, especially like, oh my god, the old, I think it was a 1-800-COLLECT. It's either 18. It was a phone commercial, but it was supposedly O.J. Simpson's mom. And every time the phone rings, she's in the garden and she runs to the phone, but she does like a bunch of football like jukes and flips and stuff to get to the phone. And oh my god, it obviously doesn't age well. Especially when you are in the knowledge that just a few years from then things go sour for Orenthal J. Simpson. Oh my god, it's just, and then when it actually happens, you get all the especially because it's on Comedy Central, you get all the parody stuff for OJ and Tanya Harding and Joy Buttafuoco and Amy Fisher and all that stuff, Lorena Bobbitt, all that stuff was all happening at the same time. My god, it was just and at the time everyone was like, oh my god, everything's going crazy. And if only we knew. If only we knew. It's just like, no, it just seems that way. Because information is moving quicker now, and everyone has access to all of this stuff now. It just seems like it. I mean, everything was always kind of this crazy. It's just now that we can see it. We have access to it now. It's pretty crazy. All right. So yeah, we're just putting this stuff here. Pretty basic. Let's see. Cobweb. And barrels. We'll put one barrel. There we go. And then we'll put a big cobweb here. Ooh. And oh man. Oh, that's another thing. Radio Shack. The Radio Shack commercials. Whew. Man, oh man. It's just like... I think if Radio Shack had jumped on the cell phone bandwagon more than they did, because obviously, I mean, you could probably get a cell phone back in the day at Radio Shack, but I'm talking like a Zach Morris Saved by the Bell cell phone. That's the kind of cell phone you would get at Radio Shack. If they had somehow not spread themselves so thin to be like, oh, you know, we do anything electronic. But then I think technology took off too fast for them, and there were too many specialists that dealt in specifics of the new onset technologies. They were just kind of like, well, I mean, you can get an adapter here. It's like, yeah, I can just get it there while I'm there getting whatever fixed or what, you know. Because I think the last time my wife and I went to a Radio Shack, it wasn't too long ago. It was in the 2000. I want to say 2010, maybe 2011, somewhere in there. We were looking for an adapter for our Wii, essentially, to get it to, because the Wii had just the regular ports and it didn't have HDMI. So we were looking for, or maybe it was for a laptop, for HDMI to something else. I don't remember. It was definitely HDMI to something. And we asked one of the guys there if they had it, and they looked at us like we were crazy, like, that doesn't exist. And sure enough, it does exist. It might not have existed at the time, to be fair. But I know for a fact, because I do remember looking it up, and we did actually eventually find something to use, because all we wanted to do was watch Hulu from the Wii on the big screen, our big screen TV at the time, and we didn't have a way to do it. I think that was it, or we wanted to watch stuff from our laptop on the TV, which I think at the time had to be parallel. It was parallel to HDMI. That's what we were looking for. And I know it exists now because I'm looking over here at the monitor that I had to use with a parallel to HDMI on my old computer. And yeah, I know for a fact. So yeah, Radio Shack, I think they spread themselves too thin. They tried to be like a Toys R Us, and I don't know what else. I don't know what else it would even be. Best Buy. A Toys R Us and a Best Buy. Because Best Buy, you just go to Best Buy and get... And now even Best Buy is kind of like... Jeez. Yeah, I don't know. Because, yeah, Best Buy just has music and, you know, home theater stuff and DVDs and CDs and all that. Now, yeah, it's all digital now. So now it's like just home theater mostly. I think I went into Best Buy recently, and like most of their DVDs are just kind of like the bare minimum. Same with their music. It's just like, yeah. And like games and stuff, of course, they have like video games and stuff. But even that's just kind of like, most of the video game stuff you just buy on the console. That's what I do with my Switch. There are like, I think we have 2 actual physical Switch cartridges, and the rest we've all just purchased through the on the system. It's just it's a space saver, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I gotta switch out the cartridge. Oh, no, it's such a big deal. Switching out a freaking cartridge. So okay, here we can incorporate some roots. You could also put some roots here in these two. There's a little tree up above here. So let's do a few roots, just a couple. There's a small, I don't want to say there's a tree above here. There's a small wooded area on the ridge above. So we'll do that. And maybe one of these. Is this one new? I don't remember this one. Huh. I just maybe never noticed it. So there and there. And a couple over here. We'll do gnarled hand. Creepy gnarled hand root coming out here. And how about one of these? Coming down here. There we go. Cool. Cool beans. Do we want to do maybe one over here? Oops. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we'll do one right here. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Cool. Alrighty. Just gives it a little bit more character. You know, If it's just bare hallways, it's just kind of like, what's the point? I guess while I'm here, I can just use whatever webs I want. Just trying to do that to save some time. But, yeah, if I'm going to keep this menu open on this page, then I may as well use whatever. Throw that there. And we'll throw one of these in here. There we go. And how about a big one too? We'll just put a bunch of cobwebs down this one. We'll even put some like leading down to this area. How about one of these? Oh, you can just like put up a curtain of webs. Oh yeah, I didn't really consider that. You can just do this, and then you got like a screen of webs. And then your PCs are like, yeah, no, I'm not going down there. I'm gonna get eaten by a giant spider. For sure. Huh, yeah, never really considered doing this. This makes it so much more creepy. Whoa. Alright, cool. Let's see. Barrel roll. A couple. I wish there were other like distressed containers, like broken crates and stuff like that. Well, man, this quick menu, I like it, but occasionally when I click on it, it kicks me out of build mode, which is vexing. It vexes me. All right, cool beans. And we'll put one along the wall, like here. Sure. Maybe on the floor. Maybe on the floor? Whoa. Sure. There you go. Really webby over there. For no reason. There is no spider, but you don't want the... You want to make the PC second guess. It's like, oh, not going down there. But if you go down here and the spider noticed you and the spider decides to follow, then what? Then what, PCs? Okay, so that's pretty good. It's not great. It's pretty good. So yeah. All right, so room number 19, which is the common room, which we read already. So yeah, so it's a bunch of goblins and a bunch of clutter and a fireplace. So okay, I guess first things first, we will build the fireplace. We want debris. Oh, we want what is it? Miscellaneous exterior. Yep, there it is. This bad boy, the literal building block. Very, very useful tile slash token, whatever you want to call it. Let's rotate. Justice Brewing! What's up? We are building the Caves of Chaos. Welcome, welcome. We are coming along pretty good. We are currently on the Goblin Caves, Goblin Lair, whatever I think they call it, the Goblin Lair in the module. But it is the classic Keep on the Borderlands module that we're building from, and it's coming along pretty good. Just got a bunch of goblins to to put in this room. Something I haven't heard in a while. Oh, Keep on the Borderlands. Yep, Keep on the Borderlands. Classic. And yeah, I talked about last time. I talked about last time we streamed. I think it was 2 Saturdays ago, but they came out with a 4th edition version of Keep on the Borderlands in, I believe it was Dragon Magazine, but it was Keep on the Chaos Scar. That was their big thing. They, instead of the Borderlands, they had, it was basically the same thing, except instead of the Caves of Chaos, it was the Chaos Scar, which is where a meteor hit and created all these caves and stuff. So it had this, but then it also had a couple other more in-depth insular adventures that were kind of like self-contained, that didn't rely on the interworking politics between the different caves and the Caves of Chaos. I remember they had one that was, you had to defeat a bunch of these far realm creatures called fell taints, and I remember giggling a lot because they were called taints. But they were like little floaty blobs of tentacles, literally, fell taints, and they did psychic damage, and yeah, it was a weird creature, a very weird creature. Where is the coal? Is that under rock? It might be under nature and rocks. Nature. An updated Keep on the Borderland. Cool. I had heard in one update Keep was lost to goblinoids, and you had to retake it and retake the lands. Nice. Yeah. I would imagine. They probably had many iterations. There's nature. Kept scrolling past it. Yeah, many iterations of this, I'm sure. Rock. Where's the rock I'm looking for? There it is. Alright. So throw some of this down in here. Make sure we're going all the way to the back wall. There we go. Cool. Chimney stuff. How are we gonna do the chimney? I guess we'll just use good old. We could use actual chimney, which, sure, we could. That's a little too neat and tidy. Kind of want to use the castle ruins. Just this block, because it doesn't need to have an opening. It's not an actual functioning chimney. You know what? That's not going to work, I don't think. I think we just have to use this. Honestly. We're just going to have to... Yeah. That's fine. So just stack this up. But yes, we've already done the Keep on the Borderlands. It is completely built. And it is up on Tales Tavern for anyone to just put into their TaleSpire and play around with. And maybe one more right here. There we go. All right, cool. There's a fireplace. And now, fire. I am the god of hellfire, and I bring you fire. There it is. Just a couple of these. There we go. And maybe adjust them slightly so they are not as floaty as they are. Oh, there we go. And there and down. Cool. There. Fireplace. Cool. Since I seem to have your undivided attention, 2 questions. 1, will TaleSpire and have a model where only a DM pays for it so the player can use the game for free, so to speak? 2, would you be opposed to later this year my streaming of it as I build the next campaign arc we've been talking about in my game? Would I be opposed to later this year my streaming of it? I mean, yeah, you stream whatever. I mean, I don't know if I'm understanding the question right for number 2, but 1, as far as I know, everyone has to have TaleSpire to run it as TaleSpire intended, but there are ways around that. If the GM has it, the GM can have it open, and you can have everyone remotely, which is, usually what it is anyway with TaleSpire, join on a Discord call, and the GM can broadcast his screen of, TaleSpire to everyone on the call. The upside, no, you're not saying no. Lots of people are streaming TaleSpire. It's completely cool. It's totally cool. But yeah, you have, if you have Discord, you can broadcast your screen. So the upside is you're the only one that needs to have a copy of it. So you're the only one that needs to pay for it, which is nice. Downside is your players can't move their tokens. So it's a lot of like your players telling you where they want to move. And, so there's got to be good communication there, which is good for any table. But it really kind of enforces that. You have to have that communication. It's like, I want my character to move up here. So, and to that end, the compass rose down here helps. So you can, see, and you can even move the compass rose. I never knew that. You learn something new every day. So yeah, got it. Currently we use above VTT, but it's only 5e. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, that's the great thing about TaleSpire. It is set agnostic. It can be any version of D&D you want. It has no system built into it aside from just the engine to put things down, keep track of where your tokens are, and roll dice. And it also has a chat thing. But chat we just figured out recently, or I figured out recently, on one of our last streams of Z and the crew. But yeah, it's you can get around that. One of my groups really wants to play in it, but they don't have PCs. That's the other problem with TaleSpire, is PC only. I'm running for a group, a private game, and they all, as far as I know, I think 2/3 of them have Macs, so they can't even if they did buy TaleSpire, there's no way they could load it on their system, or, sadly. Hopefully one day it'll be Mac compatible, but for now it's only on PC. But yeah, and for my home game, I'm actually doing the Discord broadcast, where I have it up on my screen and I'm broadcasting it to them over Discord, and it's working out pretty good. Again, it does open up the communication. There has to be communication of what, telling me what you want your character to do, which kind of in a sense forces them to do that, because before, I want to say before that, when we were on Roll20 before, and before that, you know, live in person, they tended to, I will say in person, they were more responsive, and they tended to be more present, you know, actually being present. Once we hit Roll20, there was a lot more player lockup, where I would put out a question and then I would get like no answer. Or like, okay, what do you guys want to do now? And there would be just like crickets. Just because either it's player indecision, just because they got the fear lockup. It's like, if I do anything, my character's gonna die, which you don't really want as a GM, and I'm hoping that wasn't the case, and I'm hoping that I'm not that much of a butthole of a GM that I'm terrifying my players. Hey, Wonderqueen, what's up? It blows my mind that there are probably people playing D&D now who have never played in person. Yeah, that's totally possible. 100% possible. I live in player indecision land. 4 women, 2 men. They shop a lot. Okay, yeah, that does happen. But yeah, my in-person or my home game, they tend to just kind of not all of them. I will say, I have some players in there that are very good about being vocal about what they want their characters to do. But even then, they can't be the focus the entire game, or else it's just like it's like, yeah, so you guys also have to, you know, do something, say something. And I don't know, it's one of those player engagement things that I don't understand, because they are the most vocal about, are we playing this week? They're that. But then once we play, it's just kind of like they're just spectators, it feels like, which is just kind of like, really? Okay. It's like, you know, your character has a say in what happens. You're gonna do something? I just don't know. I don't know. But hey, everyone plays D&D their own way. They get what fun from it. In their own special way. I'm trying to make this look cluttered but also functional, because this is a goblin thing. It says that it's full of clutter. I occasionally have that problem where I really want to play, but because I really want everyone to have a good time so we continue, I hang back and let them take oh yeah. I can imagine that's whoa. Yeah, part of the thing. And I try to shift focus to the players that don't engage as much, just to try and shine the spotlight on them. But every time I do, I feel like they just kind of like, okay, and moving on. I do this and moving on. I'm like, okay, well, fair enough. But my paid game, they're all pretty vocal about what they want, and that we've done some really in-depth world building, because it's not Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk or anything like that. It's centered around the Nentir Vale from 4th edition, but you know, but in 5th edition, and I just built out from the Nentir Vale, which I've also run on Destiny of Kings. I ran that for everyone in the group a little while ago on stream on Z's channel, which was fun. So that it's literally that same world, but a little bit more world building has been added to it, namely, and probably most prominently, a pantheon. I spent a lot of time on. So yeah, it's been fun. Oh, we can put a little stool here by the fire. And let's put an actual functioning table here. And some more smaller stools. They did say lots of stools in here. I'm also going to throw this in here, just because it says there's a lot of clutter, and I'm trying to find clutter. We'll also throw down another functioning table at an angle. There we go. That's a good way to do it. I grabbed a map for a coastal city from Paizo and just made it my own lore. Ah, they're currently in the upper Underdark. That's dangerous. Any part of the Underdark is dangerous. All right, cool. So I'm also gonna do a shelf cluttered with stuff. Sure, it's furniture type. Sure, it's the furniture type of stool and not the monkey cage type of stool. Yes, I am sure. I'm fairly sure. I don't know if Gary Gygax wanted to put a bunch of poop in here. I mean, we can. I'm definitely gonna put a pile of the soil in the corner. Soil. Here behind this table. Where is that? That's under nature. Yep, nature, dirt. There it is. It has its own category. Just throw that here. Make it kind of meld into the corner a little bit. There we go. And there. And there. Night soil, fertilizer, pre-dirt. Exactly. Alright, cool. Alright, so we do need some cooking ephemera. Utensils, sir. They're called cooking utensils. It's in containers. I'm looking for the cauldrons. There they are. Cauldron. One of these right here, right now. There we go. Do we have any? We don't have any, like, yeah, they don't. Alright, that's fine. We'll put some burskets. Some burskets in the corner. Whoa. There we go. How about one of these big things of, it might be rice? Sure, why not? Just there, and then a bunch of this stuff here in the corner. Also one of these, yeah, right here. I was gonna put a shelf, but you know what? I like that better. And how about one of these on top of the fireplace? And pottery break. And so do some boxes and stuff too while we're here in this container, the container store. And how about one of these on this table? Sure. One of them was doing something with this wheat and they left it on the table and they forgot about it. Sure. Makes sense. They're goblins. In my games, goblins often use a type of meal, as in cornmeal, made of insects. Fun surprise for play. Yeah, that is an actual thing that does exist, and yeah, it would 100% be something that goblins would use. Oh, here we go. More broken barrels. We used them earlier. Just use more. More broken barrels. Put one on top of this crate. Broken barrel. And okay, so let's see. Don't know that there's. Yeah, I guess we could. Let's do. I think it's under food and drink. Maybe. Oh, I'm trying to remember where this is. I think this is a place. There's a place in UK that makes cricket bread like that. Ooh. That was a of gross and also intrigue. Pop one of those up there, and a little red one, and a couple of that there, and containers. Oh yeah, I forgot that they had just bowls. We'll put one of these up here. Sure, why not? We'll also put one of these here on the bottom shelf. Bottom shelf. And I'm looking for my containers again. Because I want these things. Shoe polish. That's an ingredient, right? Whatever's in that bottle. And where's the green? There it is. This thing. And some whiskey they got off of a dead adventurer. Whoops. There we go. Whoa, didn't want to move that. There we go. Okay. Ha. It is still floating. Stop floating. There we go. What else? What else? What else can we throw in here? How about furniture? Where's the little stool? This guy. Put this here. And we'll throw one of these. Whoops, one of these just sitting on it. Why not? Alright. And I would put like a carpet in. But there, oh, actually we could do the we could just do this and sink it into the floor. There's a carpet. Kind of. It is a stack of carpets, but if you sink it into the floor, it's just one carpet. Perfect. Sort of. Alright. So we got that. Got a bunch of clutter. Stuff on the shelf. What was I going to put over here? Oh! Is it miscellaneous exterior or interior? Pillar docks. There it is. Rack of fish. Rack of goofy looking fish. Sure, they'd have a couple of these. Alright. Cool. And they are goofy looking because they are cave fish. Oh, they got I forgot they had this one. Go ahead and vary it a little bit. There we go. Silver platter, 500 gold art object. Yep. Or 50 gold art object. Yeah. Silver platter. Oh, perfect clutter. Bucket of worms. There you go. They would definitely have that. 100%. And that answers the question of what kind of meal this grain is made. It's just dried and ground worms, you know. That kind of thing. Okay. I think this room is mostly done. Feels like a common room. We do have to place the goblins, and there's a lot of goblins. I think maybe we're gonna get rid of this table and replace it with a table with benches. Do we have a table with stuff on it but no chairs? No, but that's fine. We can put stuff on it. That's not a problem. So that, and then a couple benches. There they are. Boop. It's just easier to put the tokens on the benches. I'll also put one here. Or no, here. There, and we'll also put one here. This can be a table for eating too. Why not? And put one here. Whoop. There we go. And over here, because we have a lot of goblins to put down in here. It was what, 24 goblins? Yes, 24 goblins. 30 if the players have not met the roving band of goblins yet. So that's a lot of goblins. Alright, this table gets a pumpkin. Oh, big pumpkin. We gotta put big pumpkin. Big pumpkin on overturned table. Sure, that's why. That's why the table's overturned. They needed a place to put the pumpkin where it wouldn't roll away. Goblin logic. Put some of that up there. Let's see, we'll put this here. And one of these. And also another one there. And I think that'll do it. Let me move this back here. That there. And we will put one of these here. Why not? Okay. Sure. Goblin common room. Where's the stack of small... There they are. Small stack of rugs and stuff. There we go. Cool. That does look cluttered. But also somewhat functional, I guess. Let's put... oh, we can just put stacks of cheese on this platter. Pac-Man stacks. Pac-Man stacks. Pac-Man stacks. Cool. There we go. A lovely cheese planter. Are there any trees near... oh, there are trees over there. I should have put some roots in here. I did not even think of that. We'll tell you what, we'll take our ad break, and when we come back, we'll put down some roots, so to speak. Be right back. Oh. Hey, what's up? We are back. We are back to doing this stuff. Let me get the volume back. There we go. I wish there was a way I could plug that into my Stream Deck so I could just reduce that volume with a button press, but nope. Does not exist. Option does not exist. All right, roots. We're doing roots in here. Welcome back. We are building in TaleSpire. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit a button. Hit a like button. Hit it. Or not. Hey, if you don't like it, I appreciate you watching this, but I have to question why. If you don't like it. But yes, please hit a button. It doesn't even have to. You know what? It doesn't even have to be the like button. It can be any button. It could be a button laying around your house. It could be a button on your clothing. Hit it. Putting some roots in here because on the map there are many trees above this point in the map. So roots would make sense. Whoa! Nerd Central raiding with a party of 4. Welcome, Nerd Central. Welcome and your raiding party. We are building in TaleSpire. Building things. Welcome. We are, and thank you so much for the raid, Nerd Central. We are building the Caves of Chaos. Oh, Wayfork Woodworks with the follow. Thank you so much. We're building the Caves of Chaos in TaleSpire, and it is going good. Going great. We're just cobwebbing it up and rooting it down. And making goblin common rooms, you know, like they have, like your basic goblin common rooms. And now we got to put down a bunch of goblins. Always happy to see new TaleSpire folks. Hope you're doing well. Doing good. Likewise. Hope you are doing well as well. Wayfork Woodworks. And thank you again for the follow. So there are 24 goblins in here. It says that there are some male and some female. I'm not gonna split them. It's whatever's whatever. So 24 goblins. Boy. I guess some with the bow and arrow might be okay. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's get out of build mode so we can actually see these. All right. So lots and lots of goblins is the TLDR. 30 of them. And I really wish these things had small bases, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. It's just the way this system is. Oops. There we go. And we have one cooking. It's fine. We'll say this one's cooking. Why not? The one with the 2 daggers. There we go. And maybe one is helping. We'll put one over here by this stuff. And that's 6. 7, 8. Oh, let's mix it up. 9, 10. One's just hanging out at the pumpkin. Oh, you know what? We can put some food and stuff on the pumpkin. Like he's eating a meal at the pumpkin. The pumpkin is a table. Even though there's a table under the pumpkin. Let's see. Furniture. Give me the finest stool. This one. There we go. Let's put it right there amongst the other stool. Just put this with the rest of the stool. Whoa. Oh, too many control Z's. There we go. He's trying to get out of build mode. There we go. On top of the stool. There he goes. And he's gonna have something up here on this. Just a basket of berries? No. It always defaults to the medium thumbnail. I don't like it. Don't like it. Where? Ah, this. He has this. He's eating this on the pumpkin. Do that. Boom. Perfect. Cool. All right. More goblins. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh my god. We're not even halfway done. No, wait. We're about halfway done. 24. We're exactly halfway done. Math. All right. So that's a couple there. Another one here. Oh, good. Okay. Whoops. I'll do another one here. So many freaking goblins. Here. Another one over here. At least they're small, right? Yikers. I'll put one over here. Maybe one's over here. Maybe one's in the makeshift bathroom behind this table. There we go. Oh, no, he's not behind the table. He's on the table. You know what? Oh, there we go. Perfect. That's what I wanted. We'll put one just chilling here on this rug. Maybe one's just looking at these fish. One's looking at this grain and stuff. All right, we got to be close. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24. That's at least 24. All right, we're done. That's 24 goblins in this room. And keep in mind, as Mr. Gygax says in the module, if the party has not encountered the roving band of goblins of 6, that if they roll a 3 through a 6 every 30 feet on a d6, they encounter it. If they have not done that yet, they're in here. So that's 30 goblins. So we gotta find a place for 6 more goblins if that happens. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. I'm just gonna assume that it's happened. There's a very small chance that it won't, but whatever. Because it's a 50% chance every 30 feet from the entrance. Come on. And I'm assuming they're going to be looking everywhere. In every little nook and cranny before they reach here. So chances are they've fought those 6 goblins already. They might even be dead. They don't even reach the common room. Alright, back into build mode. Nope. There we go. Just try to fill in these gaps where I find them. There we go. Alright, and we're going to continue. Since 19 is the only numbered room here. Hi. Sorry, my cat just walked in the room and meowed. What are you doing? What's up? Yeah, you just had food. What's up? You looking for your sister? She's out there somewhere. So, sorry. So 20 is, let's see. 20 is the next room, actual room. It's the chieftain's room. The goblin leader. Stats. 3 guards and several females are quartered here. The chief has a purse with 18 gold and 2 platinum pieces in it. Each of his guards has 8 election pieces, monster money, and a d6 silver pieces. There is a silver cup worth 90 gold under his bed, and he and the guards have bows hung on the wall, and if there is time, they will take them down and use them. If hard pressed, 2 of the female goblins can fight. I won't say all of them can fight. As well as the males do, and will do so. Sure. Come on, Gary. This place has quite a bit of good furniture in it, all scaled to goblin size, of course. A low bench near the bed has a secret drawer under the seat, and inside is stored the treasure of the goblins. The treasure of the goblins. A tapestry with silver and gold thread, which is worth 900 gold pieces. Ooh, baby. That's it. That's the treasure of the goblins, is the tapestry with silver and gold thread. I mean, it's worth a lot, so I guess that counts. Nearby is a stand with a pewter bowl, which holds 273 silver and 321 copper. Very specific numbers there. Okay. 590... No. Okay. Divided by 10, that's 32 silver. Okay, whatever. I'm trying to see if the numbers have a significance. To my mind, they don't. Alrighty. So, that's the only other described room in this area, which is this one right here. This is 20. So we've got this little offshoot hallway here, which we're just gonna do the same thing we did with the other hallways, which is just make it clutter it up, put a bunch of more food, more food. It's always a safe bet with more food. We're just gonna put some old barrels and cobwebs and roots, because this is also in the area where the tree is. That tree is like right near that entrance, isn't it? It is. This entrance F, which is on the next tier of the caves. All right, so cobwebs and roots. Whoa! Once again, come on, quick bar. Stop kicking me out of build mode. It's its favorite thing to do. It's literally its favorite thing to do. Put that there. And hold on one second. Sorry, actually, hold on one second. I gotta get my cat away from her sister's food. And we're back. Those cats. Oh, those cats. She has a bowl full of food, yet decides to just eat the leftovers that are in her sister's bowl. And they're both on different feeding schedules. We have 2 cats. We have Godzilla and we have Gozer. They're both very fitting for the names. Gozer is very lithe and small. She's not evil like Gozer from Ghostbusters, but Godzilla is a bit of a chonkers. She's very floofy, and she is mean to everyone but me. So I guess that's very fitting for Godzilla. And she is a food monster. Godzilla will eat all the food that you give her right then and there. So you can't give her. Yeah, she is a floof. I'll see if I can get her on camera. If she comes back in here. But she will eat all the food you give her right away. You can't give her food for the day up front, or she will just eat it all and then vomit. Gozer, you can give her all her food and she won't even go up to it right away. Throughout the day, she'll just go up, eat her food, pace herself. She's very good at that. So we have Gozer's food dish on a sensor. So it has a cover that retracts when she comes up to it because it reads her chip. So that's Gozer's food dish. Godzilla's food dish is a different piece of machinery that's on a carousel that's covered except for one portion, and we have it set different times during the day. It will rotate and it will reveal the next meal for her. So, and she will sprint to that thing, and she will actually camp near it when it's near time for it to rotate again. So yeah, I don't like her sister Gozer eating her food because she eats only so many times a day. Well, Gozer has a full thing of food. Still, full thing of food. And she's like, "Oh, what's this? More food for me." No, kidding. Okay, sorry about that. Back to this thing. Back to reality. We're gonna do the chieftain room, which is essentially it doesn't really say okay, so there's a bed. Okay. There's a bed. Cool. That's really all it says. And it says there's bows on the wall. Alright. Cool. Ooh, got a gap. Let's fill in that gap. There we go. Alright, so and there's a bunch of so we'll say there's a big bed, right? But they don't have any rickety looking bed. I guess we could put two cots together and make it look like a rickety looking bed. Big bed. And just put some furs on it, like a bear skin rug on it, and that would constitute a bed. Maybe. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in the way of things. It's in props. It's in okay. I don't want that. Okay, there we go. Furniture. Boop. And where are you? Okay, so here we have two cot options. And we have a giant canopy bed. That's sort of too much. That's a little too elaborate for a goblin. I guess we can do. I kind of like the idea of two cots kind of pushed together to make one. Maybe we could even just do this. Ooh, look at that! It looks like one bed. Boop. Aha! Rickety bed. Perfect. And we can actually, I guess we can just put the bearskin rug under it. Oh, I still like the idea of the bearskin rug. Is that in furniture? Table, chair. I think it's a miscellaneous interior. Boop, 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 boop. Yep, there it is. Cool. So there's this. We know that there is a cup underneath his bed. So we want that it's in food. Would it be containers? No. It would be food. Do we have the tipped over cup is the question. I don't think we do. I think there is it's part of the it's one of the table things. Yeah. You can see it right there. We would love to use that cup on the floor that's tipped over, but we don't have that. So we're just gonna use the regular cup. There we go. Let's put it right here-ish. Or here. That works. There. It's really hard to see. Perfect. Make them work for it. Make the players work for it. Alright. And they have bows on the wall, and there's a total of there are 2 guards? 3 guards. So there's 4 bows total because the chieftain and then the 3 guards, they each have bows. Sure. What to do for bow holding fixtures? Do we even have bows and weapons? We don't. Well, that stinks. Yeah, so far we've had to use miscellaneous weapons twice in these caverns. Once with spears and now bows, and they don't have spears or bows. That's something that they will address, I'm assuming. Alright then. We have... The closest we have is the crossbow trap, which we can't really rotate the way we want to make it look like a bow. Okay. So, I guess what we're gonna do is imply them with shields on the wall? And just say that there are bows mounted on these shields? Sure. That works for me. And we'll put one over here. Like they're weapon plaques, like in Skyrim, you know. There you go. And there are bows on each of those. Perfect. What else is in this room? It just goes into detail about the amount of money each of them has. We could put in like a bookshelf. Oh, there was the Oh, sorry. No, I missed this bit. This place has quite a bit of good furniture in it, all scaled to goblin size, of course. A low bench near the bed. Okay, he has a secret drawer in it. Yeah, I missed that bit. I mean, I read it, I just did not retain it. Let's see. Low bench near the bed has a secret drawer in it. Low bench. What would even be a low bench? I mean, I guess just this little tiny stool would have a secret compartment, but what? How would it have a tapestry in it? We'll say this. We'll say this is the low bench near the bed, and it has a secret compartment in it. How? I don't even know. But it is big enough to have a tapestry, so there we go. Or, oh, you know what? We can do this. We can do... Ooh. Took some time to think about that. We can do this. It's, you know, a nice elaborate wood-carved kind of bench table thing. And it contains the tapestry. Come on, line it up. Aha, nope. And lined up. Alright, that's as good as I'm going to get it, so I'm leaving it. Cool. And we can actually put some stuff on top of here. Like what? Well, let's see. We can put... Bones? Put some bones. Some bones. Nah. Oh, pile of skulls. Perfect. That I like. It makes it look like an altar, kind of, but eh. We'll also put some food and stuff on here, too. Just to mix it up. How about this? Perfect. I like to keep my bread and mead with my skulls. There we go. Cool. Just so they don't confuse it for an altar when coming in the room. Where is... Actually, you know what? Also cheese. Yes, but also cheese. And goblins have dark vision, so I wouldn't put any candles or anything anywhere unless they're like books, right? And nowhere does it say that this goblin is particularly bookish. He has blah blah blah, so many things in a thing. In that instance, I would put a candle. Okay, how about a bookshelf? Yeah, let's go back to furniture. Bookshelf. Empty bookshelf. There we go. So we can put stuff on it. Boop. Cool. Just a bunch of this. Why not? Some cloth and some, ooh, too floaty. There we go. What else? Fences. Oh, they put. Did fences always have its own category, or is this new? I think this is new. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, getting off subject here. I think we went containers. That should take care of just random stuff for the shelf. We'll put one of these up top. Why not? There. What else we want to put up here? Some Christmas presents. No. Random bunch of baskets full of stuff? Sure. Sounds something like something a goblin would have. Rando baskets. What else? I guess that's fine. Let's see. About just one of these stuffed in the corner. Sure. And a weird, one of these. Empty, of course. This is the chieftain's room. He's got to have some of the fancy stuff. We'll say he has 2 of these. Actually, you know what? We'll say he has 2 of these, and they're actually like braziers. Just because he's a fancy chief. And I don't want to take too many liberties. I would say that they're like braziers of... You know what? We have braziers. I could just use braziers, but you know what? These are fancier. Why not? We'll just use it. There we go. Braziers. Cool. Alright. It's more for... I guess it's more for warmth than anything else, right? As far as goblins are... Because they have dark vision. They can see in the dark. They don't need it to see things, but in order to be warm, it's a whole other matter. So I guess he's just got a bunch of females in here. Okay, it just says several females. Okay. Mr. Goblin Chief, are you aware that bigamy is a crime in the state of Illinois? Let's see. Just trying to find other rando stuff to throw in here. How? Nah. Bucket of worms? Sure. Yeah, near the bookcase. Why not? Throw it in there. Let's do... Oh, I completely forgot about this egg. Random cart? You know what? Yeah. Random cart. Why not? It says it's cluttered with furniture, so I guess we're just gonna go into furniture. These goblins love their furniture. Throw one of these in. Hay in a cart. Yeah, we can do hay. Hay. How about some hay? It's miscellaneous exterior. Farm. Oh, too big. This is gonna be at a weird angle, but we can do it. There. Hay. Hay. Boop. And a little more hay. Boop. There we go. Hay in the cart. A little wonky, but it works. Whoa. We also have this hay, which looks weird. Does that look weird? Like it's rendered differently? Ugh. Weird. Anyway, sorry, getting off subject here. Furniture. Back to furniture. We're gonna do a pile of rugs here in the center of the room because it really ties the room together. And ugly hay common in the Southlands, yes. What type of bread is this? Oh, it's ugly hay bread. Oh, delicious. Do a tipped over stool because that's a reoccurring theme. Oh, apparently a recurring theme in the Goblin Caves. Just a tipped over stool. How about a chair? Just over here. Whoops. Didn't want to put it there, but we'll put it over here. Tipped over chair. So there were 3 guards, yeah. So we'll give the guards a bench. Yeah, we'll just put it right there. Here's the bench. Benches, 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 benches. There's the bench. Put it right here, next to the cart full of hay. Be tilted slightly. There we go. Cool. All right. So, whoops. They open the door. Yeah. All the goblin stuff. Cool. Cool. I think that's fine. Let's put another stool here. And another one here-ish. And how about... Oh, actually... We can put one of these big bowls right there. And let's put one of these up on the shelf, tucked next to this thing. And let's put this up here. Oh, that's big. Let's just put it down here. Larger than I expected. Put these up here. There we go. Alright. Okay, so, Goblin Chieftain. I guess we'll use the only Goblin token we haven't used yet. Which is this one. Let me get out of build mode here. Even though he is not stated as being a spellcaster in the module, it's the only one that we haven't used. He's the Chieftain. Great. And 3 guards. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Yeah, he's just chilling on the wall there. There we go. There we go. He's just probably chilling on the pile of carpets that you have to climb over to get to anything else. And I'll put 2 females in here. They're just goblins. Alright, there we go. Alright. Since it says that 2 of them can fight as well as men, well, I will argue that they all could fight as well as men. But if you're going to specify 2, then we'll only put 2 in. Alright. Oh, good. The next section is the storage chamber. These have all felt like storage chambers. Just poorly. That's a lot of goblins. Good lord. Whew. It's a lot. It's a lot of a lot. Alright, so let's see. What is this little cul-de-sac here? So yeah, the hallway comes around here. I love storage chambers. Yeah, they're fun to do. And fun to throw random equipment at your PCs. Okay, so this intersection has a mark on the map called that's marked as G, lowercase g. What is that? Where is that? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Note that at position G, there are 4 goblin guards on duty. Aha! Armed with ready light crossbows and swords. Many bales, boxes, crates, barrels, and sacks are stacked and heaped in the large chamber. Oh, I see. So that's the storage room that's coming up. Oh, and it doesn't have a door. Oh, okay, that's why. It doesn't have a door. That's why they're just some random goblins standing in the middle of the hallway. Alright, so 4 gobos. Oh, actually, sorry. They should be the other ones. These ones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just chilling. chilling here in the hall. Oops. There we go. We will also clutter this end of the hall with your standard broken barrels, cobwebs, and maybe roots. Maybe roots? Maybe roots? No, no roots. There are no trees above this position on the map. Just cobwebs and barrels. We're not going to overdo it. We're not going to overdo it. Boop. Done. Cool. All right. This is the storage room. Okay. So it's got lots of fun stuff. Okay, so apparently this is the last of the actual goblin chambers. The rest of this is all hobgoblin. The rest of this side of the map that we laid down last week, or not last week, 2 weeks ago, because we took. Did we take a week off? I don't remember. Time is not very consistent here. Let's see. Many bales, boxes, crates, barrels, sacks are stacked and heaped in a large chamber. They contain cloth, food, beer, and wine, all of no special worth. The hardworking but not too bright goblins continually bring supplies of stolen and looted goods to this place. They do not realize that their large cousins, the hobgoblins at Area F below, use a secret door known only to them to steal the best of the foodstuffs and drink. If the adventurers stay in this chamber for more than one turn, a party of 4 hobgoblins will come through the secret door. Fun! So, we have an issue here. And we'll address it once we get to the next section. We don't have hobgoblins in TaleSpire. They don't have hobgoblins. They have gnolls, they have were-rats, they have gripply, they have kutoa, they have minotaurs, they have lizard folk, kobolds. They're the gnolls. They usually have a couple warforged, a couple tabaxi or shifters, whatever. I guess it would be long strider shifters. Whatever this is. But they don't have any hobgoblins yet. What would that be? It's a fawn woman? I guess? Not a dryad. That's just, I don't know. Anyway. This room's just going to be containers. It's just a bunch of containers. We can also probably throw in some hay and stuff because it says bales and stuff like that. So we're going to go to containers and we're going to just pile them all and pile them high. Some barrels. Just put them up against there. And about an open barrel of something. A couple of these are sitting here on this crate. This big old thing up against the wall. Keep in mind that the secret door is right here. Seems very obvious looking at it from this angle. We call this the fireball room, exactly. Perhaps some harmless rats or mice in corners. Yeah, we have rats. We could do some rats. We could also do the dirt tile in some of the corners too. Perhaps a cobweb or two as well. Let's see. Pop this guy down here and put some stuff in it. Like, is this gonna fit? That's too big. Ooh, this might fit. Nope. A cauldron. It was used to carry a hey, there we go. Perfect. It was used to carry a cauldron that they have yet to pull out of it. Rotate it a little bit so it fits better. There we go. Perfect. Let's see, what else can we throw in here? I mean, there's so much. One of these big crates, just here. Why not? Some more of these. Another one of these, just kind of here. There it is. Some of those crates. Just sitting up there. Another closed one of these crates. Just hanging out. Some of these. Actually, we can put one here. Near these containers. Right there. More barrels. Why not? There's also a bunch of stuff in miscellaneous interior that we can use. Put a barrel there. Put a barrel over here. A couple of them. Another crate here on top of this crate. Some of these smaller ones here. Just kind of stacked. Let's go back. Let's go over to miscellaneous interior. See if there's anything. Where's the? Oh, that's in furniture. Why is that in furniture? I guess it's technically furniture. I would categorize it in clutter, aka miscellaneous interior. Let's see. Oh, some more of these. Always good. Pew! Make them not so floaty. There we go. How about just a table? Just a table. Just here. And they've piled more of these on. Perfect. And then some of this fabric that they found. Cool. What else can we throw in here? Some more overturned furniture, for sure. And some hay. We're going to put some big bales of hay in here. Alright, so overturned table. We can just put that anywhere. Just go ahead and put that anywhere. One of these. A couple chairs kind of piled in here. Stool or two tossed in there. Containers. Back to containers. How about just a random coffin? Sure, why not? No body inside, just a random coffin. Or two. Like a merchant was selling coffins. And ended up needing one himself because he got waylaid by gobbos. What else? Baskets. Baskets upon baskets. And grain and stuff. We can put grain and stuff. Whoa. There, and then a bunch more of these. Just a bunch more of these. So many more of those. Put one under this table. Put another one of these under the table. Maybe a couple. There we go. One open one right there. Perfect. Okay. A couple of these. Actually, I'll say no there. Those would have been taken by the hobgoblins. Okay. Yeah, a couple. Oh, excuse me. A couple open crates. go. Oh. Cheese and pumpkins. Because why not? And then some flatware. Oh, that's floating. Don't float. Why are you floating? There we go. Okay, and now the last little corner, we got to put some stuff in there. So we're just going to pile it with crates and stuff, because it's really all we got. Let's see here. And some slightly different colored crates. Sure. Right there. Okie dokie. One of these. And a bunch of these. And I guess that's fine. I guess the hobgoblins would be smart enough to move something back in front of the secret door after going back through it. So there's something over here. How about just a? Oh no, that would make too much noise. Something that they can move quietly. Oh, it'd probably just be another stack of these. Oops. Yeah. Sure. Alright, and now we'll put some rats in here. Let's see here. Beast. One thing I wanted to check. Do they have a fox in here? I don't think they have a fox. They don't. That's disconcerting. I need one for my one of my campaigns. Anyway. Rat. Which we will make tiny. And put over here. Over here in the corner. Whoa! Alright, let's lock that. There we go. And there we go. There's one tiny rat. And put another one over here. There we go. And another one up here on these barrels. Why not? Oh, we gotta do some hay, too. We'll do some hay. We have room. We have room. We'll throw it up on top of this table. Let's see. Miscellaneous exterior, farm. Big bale of hay. There we go. I guess the hay is also a good one. Let's do that. Since they're bales of hay, that'd be perfect, actually. So, just a couple bales of hay that they just reposition and then hit the button again for the secret door to close. By the open. Oh, definitely, sure. Let's put one. Put a rat over there. Let's see, two. And again, it resized my thumbnails. I don't want it to do that. Build mode. There we go. And let me see if I can shove him under the table further. Nope. Oh god, I lost him. He's stuck in the there. Oh, we got him. Oh, there we go. He was stuck in the tapestries. Well, that's good enough. There we go. Cool. And maybe we'll also put one over here. Whoop, didn't want to make them unique. Wrong thing. There we go. Another one just chilling here. Yeah, that's about as far as we can cram them back there. Alright, good. There we go. Some rats. Cool. Alright, I believe that is it for the Goblin Caves, the Goblin Lair. That is the last room of the Goblin Lair. we are going to start in on the Hobgoblin Lair. And as I mentioned, we do not have hobgoblins in TaleSpire currently, which kind of sucks. So I have one hobgoblin designed on my Hero Forge account. It's for a different purpose. It's for one of my home games. It's actually an NPC in one of my home games. I can use it as the Hobgoblin Chieftain, but then I would also need to make blow regular hobgoblins. And I don't want to. I mean, paying for them, that's $8 a piece. Yeah, having hobgoblins is fine. I mean, I don't mind it. And even if, and here I can switch over to the thing. There it is. There he is. So yeah, this is the hobgoblin I made in Hero Forge. He's actually an NPC. He's the Great Gark, which is a canonical sort of NPC. Feywild. He's the Feywild goblin patron. I guess in 4th edition they decided the goblins needed a Fey option, which I guess sure, they're I can see that, but so this is the Great Gark, who is the leader of the he's sort of the Archfey. That's the word, the Archfey of the goblins. And I actually need this mini for my home game because my home game players are dealing with many of the Archfey. As I mentioned before on this stream, they are currently in litigation with them because they let Jareth out of the labyrinth. Literally let Jareth out of the labyrinth, and that is why they are. That's why they're they're in court right now. The literal fake court. So I don't mind having him as the chieftain. Yeah, dealing with the Archfey. Well, there's your problem. Exactly. Yeah. I think from the start they should have been because a hag told them. I think a hag gave them an item and told them not to give it to Jareth because she knew they told her that they had to go to the labyrinth to free somebody. One of their friends was in the labyrinth. And she said, here, you can use this to get there, just don't give it to Jareth, and give it back to me. And that was a Fey pact. They broke the Fey pact, and then they also they gave it to Jareth and let Jareth out of the labyrinth. So it's a lot of bad things against them. So we'll see how that plays out. Anyway, but yes, this is the Great Gark, who is the actual Goblin King, which is a point of fact, a little bit of a bugaboo with him and Jareth, who is nicknamed the Goblin King. So he doesn't like Jareth very much for that reason, among others, but that's forefront in the reasons. So yeah, I'm fine with and we'll not. Yeah, several mistakes exactly. So yeah, I mean, I'll probably make more two versions of hobgoblins, one with a crossbow, one with a sword. I'm not going to do it on stream because that's too time consuming. So for now we're just going to go through and set the stage for the hobgoblins. We're not going to actually go in and place any of them yet. So that is what we'll do. And we will do that after this ad break. So come on back, and I think this is entrance F, correct? Yes, this one right here. So this is where we'll start. When we come back from the break, don't go nowhere because it might happen. BRB. Oh, we're back. Welcome. Hi, we are here. We're back. We are building the Caves of Chaos in TaleSpire, the virtual tabletop. If you're just joining us, welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a like button. Hit it. Abuse it. Abuse that like button. We're back. So we are starting in on cave entrance F, which is connected to cave entrance D, even though alphabetically that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So, sorry, losing my train of thought and also thinking. So this we just did the Goblin Lair, which is D, the cave complex D, which is actually the lower complex connected to F, in more ways than one. More ways, well, 2 ways, which is categorically more ways than one. So it has the stairs here, which literally just lead up to the door, which lead up to the hobgoblin area. That's one way to do it. The hobgoblins, anytime they want, they can just come down these stairs, or vice versa. The goblins can just go up the stairs. I don't know why they would want to. From what I'm gathering, they're not on the best of terms with the hobgoblins. The other way is through this secret door, which leads into these rooms, which are considered to be, again, the hobgoblin domain. So we're going to start at F, which is the cave entrance, which is on a tier above in these caverns. So you have the ground floor here, which is where or actually here. This is the ground. We have this small section of it planned, laid down just so we could measure. But yeah, that's the ground floor, and then it goes up 25 feet to this level, and then up another 25 feet to, I don't think we have anything else, or anything at the 3rd level yet. No. The 2nd level is as far as we've gone. Yeah, so, well, this is technically the 3rd level. Technically, although there's no entrance. Hit that like button like you'd hit a druid concentrating on call lightning. Yes! Break that concentration. Call lightning is broken. I just watched a video on our YouTube. This guy I watch on there, Taking 20, Cody. And he was talking about, he's the one who got me, who it convinced me to include use magic device as a skill in my campaigns, which I do, and it's just like, it's just a charisma skill. Rogues have access to it, obviously. Bards have access to it, and I would say artificers have access to it, and then other like outside cases you might have access to it. If you are a cleric of the trickster, you might have access to it, that kind of thing. But he was talking about a spell that he banned. He just banned a spell from his games, and at first I was like, it's not healing word, because he's gone on record as saying healing word is kind of broken. It's kind of broken. If you use it right, it gets an ally up on their feet, and fighting ready as a bonus action. You're down, okay, you're back up with X hit points, like 5 hit points, but you're conscious and you can fight, all for a bonus action. It was apparently Tasha's Mind Whip, which I never realized was that broken, and it's apparently very broken. It literally stun locks your enemies. Any enemy with a low intelligence, it stun locks them, and it's psychic damage, which is one of the least resisted damages in D&D. So that was interesting to hear a rant about that, and I can see where he's coming from. I've never had that issue. I guess my players aren't as crafty, or they don't play classes that have access to that spell. Essentially, I guess. Anyway, enough digression. We are at F, the hobgoblin lair, which is a bit of a mouthful. You want Stunlock? I'm playing a druid, and Contagion, Slimy Doom. It's crazy good. Ah, nice. Let's see. Seldom are these fierce creatures troubled by marauders, the hobgoblins, for the entrance to their lair is guarded by a stout barred door at the back of the entry cave. Skulls are lined along the walls, and several are affixed to the oaken door to highlight a warning written in common runes, "Come in, we'd like to have you for dinner!" exclamation point. Which could be misinterpreted as a cordial invitation to dine, ... It's a 4 ellipses. It's a 4-dot ellipses with spaces between the dots. Gary, come on, man. Careful inspection of the barred door has a 1 in 6 chance per person examining it. Oh, come on, don't do skill dumps like that. No, 5th edition is if more than one person is investigating, one of those characters gets to roll with advantage. That's it. You can't all roll. Too many hands in the pot. 7 days of stunlock. Oof. Oof. Yeah, that sucks. Like removing the character's reaction and forcing them to do only one thing on their turn, either move, bonus, or standard, it's nasty. It's nasty. Let's see. 1 in 6 chance per person examining it of detecting a secret mechanism which allows a person outside to slide the bar back so the portal can be entered. If it is forced open, it will require 3 1s on a d6 to indicate the bar has been broken. Okay, these are advanced D&D dice rolls that we're getting into. And by advanced, I mean AD&D, not advanced 5th edition, like, oh, higher mind stuff. This is old. These are old rules. These are old rules. It will require yada yada yada. If a knock spell is used to open the door, the noise of the falling bar will be heard, but guards will not have time to react, so the intruders will have 2 rounds of time before the guards will come. Okay, cool. So, from what I understand, there is a door right here. That's great. And it said it's an iron-bound door, which we don't really have. We have one... Well, I guess that is an iron-bound door, technically. The default door is iron-bound. So, perfect. So we go in here, and we go into... I think we went Cavern Lava, because I want to make sure that the doors have a solid base to work with. And for that, I usually use this. Or at least for where caverns are concerned. I just put one of these where it is going to... See, right there, you can see that it filled in a bit of that space. So now there's less of a gap. And then you just go to door. Let me just pull this up a little bit. There we go. And we want iron-bound door, which is just your default big old door. And we'll throw it right there. And let's make sure that it's opening the correct direction. No, that's not the correct direction. Boop, boop. There we go. All right. So there's a door right there. The hobgoblins are the only ones smart enough to put an actual door in the entrance of their cave. So far, they're the only smart ones to put an actual door. All right, cool. So, and there are a bunch of skulls. Well, we can't put. It says that there are skulls in the door, but we can't do that. So we are going to have to put them in the walls, which we did actually, if you remember, in the Orc Lair. Which actually, it works out pretty easily. So if we go to Grim and the Skull Pile, this will actually allow us to put potentially multiple skulls in the wall at a time. It's just like that. Just like that, and then we can rotate it, put a few more skulls in the wall, bring it up, rotate it, a couple more skulls, move it over, bring it up, a couple more skulls, more skulls, a little more, some more skulls here, just a cluster of skulls right there, and a few more down here. Rotate just a little bit, there we go. Alright, I think that's good for that side, and over here we'll put a few. Whoop. Whoa. There we go. And then up a little bit. Let's rotate that. There we go. And then some over here. I think that'll be good. Don't want to put two, maybe one more over here. Still one more, Buzz. Skulls are like potato chips. You can't just have just one. once you pop someone's skull off, you can't stop popping skulls off. It's a much darker reality. Let's see. All right, cool. There we go. We have the skulls in the entrance. We can't do the writing on the door. I mean, okay, so that's F. Oaken door, iron bound, affixed to the oaken door. We can't really affix the skulls to the door, so there's there. All right, cool. That works for me. Do we want to change this? Yeah, you know what? Let's change this to this. And actually, let's move our grid so that it doesn't just fall. There we go. Hey, perfect. All right. Cool. So, Area 23, the common room. Area 23 is... Whoa. Whoa, that's way over there. Okay. Weird. It's a weird jump. So, Area 23 is all the way over here. All right. Fair enough. So, this is the Hobgoblin common room. So this place quarters 5 hobgoblins. Actually, sorry. 13 hobgoblins. 5 males, 8 females. They have 2d6 silver each, and 3 young, which do not fight and have no treasure. There are heaps of cloth and skins for beds, and some odds and ends for furniture, a small barrel of beer, buckets, etc. in the place, all worthless. The males are watching the east door, which communicates with the Goblin Lair, and are battle ready. All right, cool. Oh, good. The next room is torture chamber / playroom / food storage. It's literally what it says. Torture chamber / playroom / food storage. If I were a realtor, that is how I would... That's how I would describe the rooms as I'm going through. This you can use for your torture room / playroom / food storage. There's nice high ceilings for any amount of flaying you might want to do. Let's see. All right. So skins for bed, heaps of cloth and skins for bed. There's odds and ends of furniture, and a small barrel of beer. All right. So we're gonna go into containers, get the smaller of the barrels, which is this guy. Just pop it right there. Furniture has all the rugs and stuff, so we can actually use this again. Heaps of fabric and furs and stuff translates to a bunch of this, essentially. Sure. Maybe not exactly like that. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do in the corner. Yeah, we'll put this in the corner. Put another one on top. And then maybe a second one down here. So this looks like they raided a carpet carpet store. It's weird. There's this in Evanston, where I live, Illinois. There's a road, Chicago Avenue, oddly, which runs through Evanston, and from south to north, if you go up Chicago Avenue, there's a certain point where you will pass half a dozen carpet, like, I guess what would it be, like Turkish carpet stores, and just across the street from one another. It's insane. There's like half a dozen of them. There may be less now. I haven't been over there in a while, but it's just kind of bonkers. Like easily within walking distance of one another. Like a block or 2 blocks of one another. Like, do you really need this many? What's going on here? Odds and ends as furniture. So yeah, things that aren't typically furniture, like a work table, or like a couple benches. Yeah, you know, things that aren't maybe optimal furniture, but you know, they're fine. Not a floaty bench. Floaty benches are magical and rare. Maybe they have one actual good chair. There we go. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's see. Another random small bench / side table. One of these just kind of plopped over there. And you know what? This one actually has stuff on it. I will actually put, since these are hobgoblins. Hobgoblins sort of get lumped in with goblins, and people forget, oh no, they're like tacticians. They are military tacticians. They're not stupid. That's their whole culture. Maybe a brazier? Sure. Why not? Keep things warm. Maybe a second brazier. Why not? Okay, we got odds and ends. You know what I'm missing? You know what I'm missing that we need? Bearskin rug. For pirate games, or if you're trading with GIF and Spelljammer, I like to take a barrel, turn it into a creature, then reduce the size to represent a small cask of gunpowder. Oh, gotcha. At first I was like, why reduce the size? Oh, you mean turn it into a creature in here. Give it the creature hammer. Bam. And bam. And float. And now it's a floaty barrel. It's just a floaty barrel. All right. I may have ruined. Oh wait, is it? Oh no, that's the actual size. Yeah, that's giant size. Whoa. Right. Oh, it won't let me. Oh, there it goes. Okay. All right. I think oh, can I undo this? That's the question. Can I undo? Nope. I cannot undo it. It's a creature forever now. That's fine. Container, barrel. All right, nice. Someone has the chair right next to the barrel. That's prime seating. That's prime seating. That small barrel of beer. Bearskin rug is sinking into the floor. The one problem with the creature hammer, yes. Let's do miscellaneous interior book. Let's throw just a rando book up here. Why not? And maybe paper? Some papers? Whoa! Sinking into the pudding table. Down a hair. There we go. Perfect. And whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, good. And probably another candle. There we go. Alright. Do we want to do a bookshelf maybe? Sure. Let's do a bookshelf. Furniture. Bookshelf. We'll do one with books on it. I don't feel like having to place stuff. I don't feel like having to put random stuff on a bookshelf. I had to do that twice already. There. This one already has stuff on it. think how much cool stuff you could do if you turn creatures into objects. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very cool. All right. I think that's good for that room. And again, we can't really put down the hobgoblins yet because we don't have any hobgoblin minis. So that's the common room. Should we have like a general table? Common room. It doesn't say this is where they make food. It just says it's a common room. No, I would say maybe another bench over here would make sense, right? Another bench. Tell you what, let's get rid of one of these and let's put a table. An actual table. Yeah, this guy. Actually, we'll do one with the stools. Sure. Right there. I wish they had like the other things you could put on tables, like gaming sets, like cards or dice, or cards and dice or whatever, like and a dagger and some coins, something like that. That'd be really cool. Just have to put on the table. It would make more sense. This one actually has the dagger already. It's just missing. It's missing the other stuff. But I want just that, not the table and chairs, just the other stuff. Shelf? It is the common room. We could do a shelf of random stuff, but the walls don't really lend themselves to it, so... Nah, never mind. We'll just do a couple of these. Kind of piled on top of there with maybe some of maybe some of this. There we go. Cool. Should we put something on this table though? I'm thinking like this. This is kind of a good go-to. Sure. That works. And we can rotate this guy a little bit. Move it over. Good. All right. That feels common room-y, sort of, I guess. All right, moving on to 24. The torture chamber / playroom / food storage. You got your torture in my food storage. Well, you got your playroom in my torture. Okay, so this, again, we have a nice long hallway with nothing in it. And then this is the torture room / playroom / torture storage. There are two very large, ugly hobgoblins here. Each is equal to 2 + 1 hit dice monsters. So a 3 hit dice monster. One having 10 hit points, the other having 8 hit points. And both wear chainmail. One also has a whip as well as a sword, so that he can strike at opponents up to 15 feet away. Wow, that's a heck of a reach. And if a hit is scored, the whip will jerk the victim off his or her feet. Phrasing. And stun him or her for 1 to 2 melee rounds. However, once closely engaged, the hobgoblin cannot make use of his whip, so he will cast it aside. Each of those monsters has a purse with d6 each copper, silver, and electrum pieces. The larger also has a silver armlet worth 135 gold. They guard 6 prisoners who are chained to the walls. There are 2 chairs, a small table, and a central fire pit, and various implements of torture in the chamber. The keys to the prisoners' chains are hanging on the wall in the southwest corner. The prisoners are: number 1, a plump, half-dead merchant scheduled to be eaten tonight in a special banquet. If he is rescued and returned to the keep on the Borderlands, the guild will pay 100 gold pieces reward, grant the rescuers honorary guild status. Ooh, that's really good. You get to stay in the guild house. And exempt them for 1 year from any fees, dues, taxes, and the like, which the guild would normally collect. That's a heck of a reward. Save the plump one. Save the plump sort ahead. An orc who will fight goblins and, and hobgoblins gladly. If handed a weapon, of course he will seek to escape from the adventurers at first chance, taking whatever he can with him and informing his fellows at the orc caves of what happened. Number 3, a man-at-arms who formerly served as a guard for the merchant, the plump merchant. He will take service with the rescuers for 1 year if an offer is made. Wow. For room and board only, if given armor and weapons. Cool. Number 4, a normal female, the merchant's wife, in fact, who is also slated for the big feast. She will personally reward her rescuers by giving them a +1 magic dagger she has in her room back at the keep. Okay. Number 5, a crazy gnoll. Oh, crazy gnoll. Noel Fielding? No. I'm Noel. I'm the crazy Noel. No, that's great. I'm crazy Noel. Crazy Noel, who will snatch up a weapon and attack his rescuers if he's freed. He will cause only 1 to 6 points of damage due to his weakened condition. Okay. And the last one, another man-at-arms, as number 3 above, who will behave the same way as his companion. So two guards who will basically be NPCs that agreed. Oh, I missed what you agreed on. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay. So, fire pit, torture tools, which we have. Luckily, at TaleSpire, there are torture tools. So I'm guessing, well, for things hanging on the wall, I guess we should first determine where the prisoners are. We have 6 of them. So if we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along these walls here, and then the rest of it is all just torture room, playroom. How is this? Oh, because they consider it play, and they're eventually going to be food. I get it now. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Gary. I get it. Because their entertainment and their torturing is the entertainment, and they're eventually gonna eat them. Okay. Okay. In miscellaneous, so first we have to get the litter for the prisoners. Miscellaneous exterior. We need prisoner litter, which is just this. It's just hay, and we're gonna sink it into the floor a little bit. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and maybe space this one a little bit better. Okay. Whoa. And so there's a fire pit in the middle, so we have to do some reformatting here. So if the fire pit, here we go. Aha, we already have the tile set in our quick bar. Aha. So we do this, and if the fire pit is, say, here, then we just take one of these and we just recess it slightly, and that'll be the fire pit. And the rest is all just this. There we go. And then we go to nature and rock and this, and then we fill our fire pit with coal. It looks like coal. Could be elephant poop. Who knows? No one really knows. There. There, and down a little bit. Both burn well, yes. There we go. And now we just have to add the fire. Let's see. Lights. Fire. There we go. A lot of fire. This fire pit. And maybe we'll throw some of the debris, some of the wood debris in here. Let's see, miscellaneous interior? Or is it, I think it's exterior. Yep, debris. There we go. So we have choices, so we can, that's a little big. That's also a little big. And that's perfect. So we'll just throw this in there amongst the fire. Cool. Okay. So now torture tools, which I believe is miscellaneous interior, but it isn't actually torture tools. It's fireplace tools. It's the closest we got. So we're gonna throw them up on the wall here. There we go. Oh, also chains on the walls, which we easily have. So we can do, yeah, we'll do this. And we'll just put them in the walls next to things. And we can actually rotate them to match the facing of these irregular walls, which is nice. It's a nice, these little added things that they did for the Chimera build, I take them for granted now. But then I stop and think, I remember a time I couldn't do this, and it wasn't that long ago. Used to be, it stuck out at one angle, or 90 degrees to that angle, or 180 degrees to that angle, and then that was it. Those were your choices. Alright, there we go. Cool beans. So, one thing I kind of want to do, I think the ceilings are only going to be this tall. So, one thing I want to do is I want to do chains above the fire. Is that actually... Oh. Well, that's convenient. It actually hangs down right from... it goes down from where you have it. Oh, that's cool. Cool. Alright. Oh, I want to move this over to about... Whoa, and up. There. I apologize for my clearing of throat and such. It's been with the heat here in Illinois. I've had some 90-degree days. My allergies with the back and forth. It's been my allergies are not enjoying it. It'll be like 90 degrees during the day, and it'll go down to 60 at night. And my sinuses are just like, no, wow, what are you doing? Okay, that looks torture-y. What exactly that's for? Who knows? It looks torture-y. Let's see. And oh, whoa, there we go. We had 2 days of heat warnings at 107, so today it's... Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a flip-flop. Yikes. Ooh, what's this one? Oh, it's actually... Okay, I see what that is. It's stuck in the ground. Okay. Cool. Alright, so we got those. And now we can have some actual torture devices. Which are in here as well. What would they have? They're preparing them for food. So I would imagine something along the line... Well, that's too big. I would imagine something along the lines of that, but that's a little too big unless we throw it way over here in the corner. Because that sacrificial altar also food prep station. Yeah, I mean, it fits. Yeah, you can still get around it. It's maybe not the best placement. We could maybe shift it into the wall a little bit. Just because it's so bulky. Yeah, just like that. I mean, yeah, I like the idea of that. It's essentially, it's a sacrificial altar, also torture, a torture table, also food prep station. And gaming table. It's a playroom as well. It's a gaming table. Oh boy. And something smaller, like this horrible thing. Or no, well, spiked cage, is that? If only I could sink a cleaver into this. Yeah, that would be perfect. Whoop. I guess like one of these, a couple of these, just kind of peppered about. Those are horrible things. Yeah, sure. I think that's sufficient. Maybe a small table or something where they can work off of, where they can put all their torture stuff. Here, let's go here. Let's go to, I guess, dungeon, and use the stair block as the big block that they have. This as a table. Bone bucket. You could do bone bucket. Let's see. Did they say that this has a door? Let's see. Two very ugly. Each is cast aside. No, it doesn't say that there's a door. I would say there's a door. Let's see. We could do that, and this isn't actually like a door that opens, is it? No, I don't get any prompt. Even though it is a door, they need to put this door in with the other doors and make it work like a door. Whoops. There we go. That's okay. We can just use an act. They do have an actual prison door. Yeah, this guy. It's not the same. Whoa. It might not even line up with that one, which would be unfortunate. Oops. Stop it. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't it doesn't line up with that one. Huh. Well, what to do? Oh, if we rotate, no, I don't think that's gonna solve anything if we rotate it, because it's just gonna be, huh, interesting. Well, maybe we just use the other thing that isn't an actual door. How about we do that? Because I don't feel like fighting with that. Dungeon. There we go. Prison. The door, please. The quote-unquote door, as it does not actually function as a door. It is just a wall that looks like a door. And you know what? We'll put it over here, just so it gives us a little bit more room. Okay, cool. Can we put anything down there as torture tools? Actually, can we put it? Oh, we can put a dagger in the. Maybe. Yeah, we can put a dagger in the. Sticking down in the thing. Close enough. Woo. There. There we go. That's floating. There we go. Perfect. And a couple of these just laying down here on the table. Sure. Put another one here. Whoa. Oh, okay, there we go. Anything else? Oh, a different dagger. Sure. Why not? One of these. A hatchet, because you know. Let's see. I guess that's good. Plus you have these over here on the wall, which I guess we can copy and put more over here. Sure. And a bone bucket. How do we do a bone bucket? Do we have bucket? We have the worm bucket. I don't think we have an actual bucket. We have the barrel. We can do a bone barrel. Let's see. Containers. This barrel. Which we can actually put over here. Empty bucket fused with pile of skulls. Sure. There aren't many big buckets though. There's the small little worm bucket. There's cauldrons, and then there's this barrel. I think the barrel will lend itself to the size of the bone. The size of the bone tiles better. So let's see. Oh, we can even put a bone sticking out. So yeah, there we go. We can put a couple layers of these skulls in here. Layer them in. Make sure they're not sticking out. Nope. Okay, we're good. Over here. And then here we go. And then one of these just kind of, a couple of these just sticking out. There you go. Bone barrel. Cool. All right. I think that's good. Oh, we can actually put one like laying across. There we go. Aha, bone barrel. Alrighty. I think there might be thigh bones. Yeah, could stand up in the. Yep, there we did it. All right. Cool. Anything else we want to put? Maybe we can like anchor this thing to the wall to make it more ominous. I kind of want to try out this. Well, that's a little too. That might be a little too tall. Oh, we'll try it. Let's see. Put that here, and then another one here near the dagger. And oh, that's very. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, unless you hit. Yeah, that's too much. It's too tall. Never mind. That's fine. Maybe the other way. Let me do it this way. Whoa! It's freaking out. Yeah, you really gotta hit clipping. As soon as you, yeah, it's too far. It goes from like the wall to the floor is the angle that it's sort of created for. Yeah, wall to the floor. It's how they created that asset. All right. So we can also do the prisoners in here, which shouldn't take long. Why is that so far up there? I don't know. So there's a knoll. There are two guards. There's the merchant. There's the merchant's wife. And there's the orc. Right. All right. So let's see. Let's do human. merchant. Oh, perfect. Fat merchant. Fat merchant. Who is to be eaten. JTC35, what's up? How is it going? And we will knock him down. And we will spin him around. Spin around that way. And put him in his spot. Right there. Nope. Right there. There we go. Perfect. All right. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Merchant's wife. We could do any number. Hey, we'll just do her. Good, basic merchant wife. And knock down. And move her over here. Because, of course, the hobgoblins will keep them separated because they're not nice. Boop. Good enough. I really should have offset these shackles a little bit more with the foresight that yes, I'm going to be trying to put miniatures here near these. What weirdo game for weirdos is this? This is TaleSpire. This is building maps for D&D and other role-playing games. It's for 3D maps. And we're currently just building a 3D map for a Dungeons and Dragons adventure. Let's move that over. And I'll also move this one over. And whoop. There we go. All right, so we have two guards who don't actually have any weapons. So I'm just going to use this dude. Because they don't actually... I mean, I could put weapons, use actual, guards for them, like these guys. But that would give away too much. I'm just gonna make them the regular commoners. Look like regular dudes. And put one there. And I also have to move these manacles. Move this one over. And move this one over this way. Maybe rotate it slightly. There we go. So we have we're gonna put the orc over here. So we just need one. That's half orcs. We want orc. There we go. That's this guy. Why not? And knock down. Whoops. Rotate. And we'll put him here. Perfect. And then we have Crazy Knoll. Crazy Knoll. It's under monstrous? No, humanoid. There we go. Crazy Knoll. Wow, that's a big knoll. Sure. We'll use this one. He's slightly smaller. Knock down. And whoop. Whoop. There we go. And all that's left is another one of the guards. So back to human. Back to regular man. There's regular man. And knock him down. Cool. Rotate. And place there. Alright, cool. We got all the prisoners. We got the torture chamber, / prison, / playroom, / food prep. All set to go. The only thing that's missing are the actual hobgoblins. Because again, TaleSpire does not have hobgoblin miniatures. So yeah. We will deal with that when we get to it. Probably next stream. We'll go ahead and just build some in Hero Forge and do that. Speaking of which, we're getting toward the end of our stream here today. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Nerd Central, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Wayfork Woodworks, thanks for the follow. Big appreciates. Which is a weird way of saying much appreciated. We will be Justice Brewing again. Yes, thank you so much. Hobgoblin Dorm. We will continue the Hobgoblin Dorm, and in fact, probably open with making some Hobgoblins next week in Hero Forge. Again, we have our one hobgoblin that we made. Oh wow, I like how you can kind of see Hero Forge overlaid onto onto TaleSpire there. That's weird. That's a weird thing. Oh, I guess it's because this isn't big enough. What if we make it bigger? There we go. But yes, this is our Hobgoblin Chieftain as it stands. Since I already have this created for another thing, we're going to use this as our Hobgoblin Chieftain when we get to it. Sorry, I was building on the... Hey, no worries. No worries. But yes, we will be back next week, next Saturday, with more TaleSpire. Hopefully we will be back also before that on Thursday for some more Breath of the Wild, because I want to finish playing that game on stream. I have actually beaten it, so it's not like I've never beaten it. I just kind of want to finish the stream. I feel like we're 3/4 of the way through, or I would say 3/5 of the way through, depending on your view of it. It's more like 3/5, because we're going to do the Champions Ballad stuff and get our beast, which is the motorcycle. Hell of a beast. I mean, if it were like a robotic horse, that would have made more sense to me, but whatever. That's more up Link's thing, like a giant horse. Bad Breath of the Wild. So yeah, hopefully we'll be back Thursday. If not, we'll definitely be back Saturday for some more TaleSpire building fun. So until then, if anyone is looking for a game of Dungeons and Dragons, I have a standing game monthly that I sell tickets for through Eventbrite. There's Eventbrite right there. If you're interested, hit me up on either Instagram or Twitter. I am at Dice and Brews on both of those platforms. Just message me, ask for details. I'm going to give you a little bit here. They are 5th edition games run in Roll20, and we use Discord and Beyond 20 and D&D Beyond to facilitate the games over, remote. Sadly, they're not running TaleSpire. If I could get a group of players that all have TaleSpire, I would gladly run the monthly game in TaleSpire, but as it stands, not everyone has access to it, so it's easier just to use Roll20 since it's browser. You just need a browser to run Roll20. Yes, as I said, it is a standing game. They are dungeon crawls, so if you are looking for a monthly game to play, hit me up. Let me know you're interested. We'll see if we can get enough players. Right now, we don't have enough. I'll reach out to former players that were somewhat regular and see, because we haven't run in a while, and see if they are still available. But as it stands right now, we don't have any players. So yeah, hit me up on either Instagram or Twitter and for more information, and we'll see if we can get something organized. If you're looking for a non-D&D game to play over the internet remotely with your friends and or family, check out tourguidegames.com. They offer on-demand, professionally led TTRPGs for you and your friends and family. All you need is a smartphone. You don't even need pen and paper or dice. Your tour guide, who is assigned to you when you schedule the game, takes care of any dice rolling or note-taking that might be required for the game. And even then, there's not a whole lot of that required. The games are very rules-light, easy to learn, and a blast to play over the course of a couple hours. We're talking about games like All Outta Bubblegum, Time and Temp, Lasers and Feelings, Project Ninja Panda Taco, one of my personal favorites, Guilds of Orpheus, Honey Heist, Fiasco, games like that. So if you're looking for a way to reconnect with your friends or family through a recent move or quarantine, if you're being super safe, it is a great resource for that. Or if you are an employer that's looking for a great way for your either in-house or remote employees for a team building exercise, it is an excellent resource for that, and they've done that many times with great success. So if you're interested, again, check them out over at tourguidegames.com. It's also important to note that they do not sponsor this stream. I just like trying to throw them a little bit of business if at all possible. So aside from that, everyone, please stay safe, wear a mask, wash your hands, don't touch your face while you're out and about, social distance whenever possible. The mask goes over your nose and mouth at the same time. Check and see in your area if you are eligible for vaccines or boosters, and do it, because it is the responsible and courteous thing to do, and it's free. So it's just, you feel a little sick for a couple days, it hurts your arm for a couple days, and then you're fine. It reduces the chance of the lethality of the virus and the potential spread and mutation of the virus. Do that and just be excellent to each other, and we will see you next time here on this little corner of the internet. Peace out. Hey, what's up? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and also hit the bell if you want to know when I post some new stuff. You can see some of my other stuff right over there on the screen.